Hey, I'm Kenneth Wajda. I'm a professional photographer here in Colorado. Welcome to another one of my photo talks. Hey, let's do a gear talk. Here's some cheap gear that I think is some of the best gear out there. If you want to get a great deal on a camera that you can pick up for next to nothing, this was sitting at the local flea market. It's a Kodak 1, I believe it is, and it's a Retinette. It's before the Retina series, and it's a Kodak Retinette. It's got a little Schneider 50 f4.5 lens. Are you crazy? That is so slow. Not for outside, it's not. It's got a scale focus. All you got to do is set it for 8 or 10 feet. Shoot it at f11. You can shoot all day long. Great snapshots with this. Great photographs that actually capture the scene if it's shooting street or things like that. That's a perfect camera for $7. Works fine. Sellers don't know what they have. This one was 10. This has a 50 millimeter f2 Schneider lens. It's a 1A Retina. You can see the top of this one. This is what it started out as. Neither of these has a rangefinder. They both are just scale focus cameras. But $10 and $7, these are the kind of cameras I'll put into the hands of somebody who's with me who doesn't know how to take photographs or make exposures, and I'll set it for them. I'll set it at 250 f11 with 400 speed film, set it at 8 feet and say just point it at anything you want. It'll all be in focus. And it will be. And these cameras are out there and they're not expensive. People who see these, they don't think that they're very good or they work, and they're German-made cameras with great lenses. If you're looking to get some other cameras that you can use to, work with, put it in your pocket. This fits in my pocket a lot easier than a Leica. It's only that big. And it's got a leaf shutter, so it's quieter than a Leica. So you can actually probably hand hold it down to 1/8 of a second and hold it steady enough because the shutter is so quiet and the shutter is so slight. I can actually show you. Let me see if I can get this down to 1/8 of a second. So here's 1/8 of a second. Actually, it doesn't even have 1/8 of a second. It's 1/5 of a second. This is 1/5 of a second. And it's got a top wind on this one. This one just has a simple wheel wind. Again, these are very simple cameras. When people have them, they have no idea how they work. If you get one and it won't shutter or fire or advance, check to see if the Kodak Retinas and Retinas were typically known for, if you got down to 0, they have a downward counting film counter. And as you got down to 0, they would lock up at 0. So that you didn't rip the film. Most people don't know, if you move it off 0, it works again. They'll sell it often thinking it's broken, or they don't know how it works. That's what these people said. They go, I have no idea if they work. Here's our prices. And I'm like, at those prices, that's an easy pickup to put into a group of cameras that are good for people who want to be able to point and shoot at things and go with me if they're out walking and doing a little photo walk, but they're not really photographers and they don't know how to set a camera. Here, look through this, frame something that you like, point and shoot. And you have a great German lens. One's got a 4.5 lens, that's why it's only $7. The other one has a 2.8 lens. Both are great, great cameras, and they're the ones that I would suggest. Don't buy them on eBay. Just keep an eye out at the thrift store, at the antique shop, at the flea market. They show up on the ground. This one was literally on the ground, covered in a bunch of other cameras and wires and junk. And I recognize it. As soon as you see this, you know there's something in there. You know there's a little something special down there amongst all the junk that nobody wants, camera-wise. Hey, that's not junk. There's some good stuff out there. Go find it. Hey, that's Today's Photography Talk. Hey, if you're enjoying these, hit the subscribe button. If you can support, hit the Patreon. Thanks to all my supporters. I appreciate you. I'll be back next week and we'll talk more photography. As always, here's the good light.